The moment she walked through that coffee shop door, my chest locked up so tight I thought I was having a cardiac event. I'd agreed to this blind date to get my buddy Marcus off my back. Expected some stranger I could smile at for 45 minutes, then ghost politely. Instead, I was staring at Natalie Brennan, my best friend Derek's ex-wife. The woman whose divorce had detonated our entire friend group 2 years ago. My name's Ethan. I'm 32, and I work as a paramedic for Seattle Fire Department. My days are blood, adrenaline, and people's worst moments. My nights are silent apartments and leftovers eaten standing at the counter. I wake up at 5 a.m., run 6 miles through rain that never stops, shower, and report to Station 17 in Ballard, where I spend 12 hours saving lives with my partner Marcus, a 15-year veteran who thinks everyone's personal life is his business. The city smells like salt water, wet pavement, and coffee. My apartment smells like nothing. 1 bedroom in Fremont, furniture from IKEA. Walls bare except for 1 photo of my mom before the cancer. I eat protein and carbs. Watch TV I don't remember. Fall asleep on a couch that sags in the middle. Wake up and do it again. There's a specific loneliness that comes from being surrounded by crisis all day. Then going home to silence so complete you can hear your own heartbeat. I've pulled kids from car wrecks, done CPR on kitchen floors while families screamed, held pressure on gunshot wounds while the victim told me about their daughter's soccer game. Then I clock out and nobody texts. Nobody calls. Nobody's waiting. I wasn't always like this. 3 years ago, I was engaged. Brianna was an ER nurse, understood the job, the hours, the gallows humor. We had plans. Wedding, house, kids eventually. Then my mom got diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic cancer. 6 months from diagnosis to grave. I spent every off shift at her bedside, watching her disappear. Brianna tried to be supportive, but I shut down completely. Stopped talking, stopped feeling. Just worked and waited for Mom to die. After the funeral, Brianna gave me 3 months to come back. I couldn't. She handed back the ring and said she couldn't marry a ghost. I didn't fight it, didn't even feel sad, just empty. After that, I shut the door on relationships, no apps, no dates, no hope, just work, run, sleep, rinse and repeat until you forget what wanting something feels like. So when Marcus's girlfriend Taylor started her campaign to set me up, I resisted for 3 solid weeks. "You're 32, not 82, she said over dinner at their place, pointing at me with a fork. "My friend from yoga, she's perfect for you, funny, smart, works with kids, loves hiking, 1 coffee. If it sucks, I'll never ask again." Marcus piled on. "Dude, you're turning into a hermit. I'm worried you're going to forget how to have a conversation that doesn't involve phrases like systolic pressure and suspected fracture." I caved on a Tuesday night when my apartment felt so quiet I could hear my neighbor's TV through the walls. Texted Taylor, "Fine, 1 date. If this goes badly, you're buying my drinks for a month." Asterisk. She sent back 17 emojis and an address. Slate Coffee Roasters, Ballard. Saturday, 2 p.m. Blue scarf. Saturday, I stood in front of my closet for 20 minutes like I was preparing for a job interview instead of coffee with a stranger. Settled on dark jeans, gray button-down, shaved, actually did something with my hair, stared at my reflection and wondered what the hell I was doing. Slate Coffee was peak Seattle. Concrete floors, Edison bulbs, succulents on every surface, indie folk playing low, and $7 lattes with foam art. I ordered black coffee to steady my hands, grabbed a table by the window, checked my watch. 1:58 p.m. The door opened, couple with matching beanies, guy on his phone, group of teenagers. 2:05 p.m. Door chimed again. She walked in shaking rain off her jacket. Tall, dark hair in a messy bun. Wearing jeans and boots and that blue scarf. Late 20s, maybe 30. Striking more than pretty. Strong features. The kind of face that looked better without makeup. She scanned the room with this careful, guarded expression, like she was used to being disappointed. Then her eyes landed on me and went wide. I knew that face. Knew the small scar on her chin from a bike accident when she was 14. Knew the way her left eyebrow arched when life threw curveballs. Natalie Brennan, Derek's ex-wife. Ethan. Her voice cut through the coffee shop noise, soft but sharp. I stood so fast my chair scraped, coffee sloshed. Natalie, Jesus Christ. She didn't run. That was the first shock. Instead, she walked over slowly, like approaching something dangerous, and stopped 3 feet from the table. Taylor's friend is you. Yeah, you? Yeah. She unwound the blue scarf with shaking hands. Small fucking world. Too small. My heart was slamming against my ribs. Look, if you want to leave... I thought about it. She pulled out the chair across from me and sat. But I already paid for parking, and I'm morbidly curious how this plays out. I sat back down, stared at her. She stared back. Did you know, she asked, that it was you? No, I don't know what I would have done, but I didn't know. Me neither. She flagged the barista. Vanilla latte, please. Make it a large. We sat in loaded silence until her drink arrived. She wrapped both hands around the cup, like she needed something to hold on to. So, she said, this is fucking weird. Extremely fucking weird. How much did Taylor tell you about me? Just that you work with kids and do yoga. Accurate, but incomplete. I'm a speech therapist at Seattle Children's. And I do yoga because my therapist said I needed a hobby that wasn't obsessing over work. She took a sip. You? Still saving lives? Every shift. Still driving the ambulance. She nodded slowly, studying me like I was a problem she was trying to solve. When's the last time we saw each other? Your divorce party. Not officially called that, but that's what it was. Derek got drunk. You left early with your sister. God, that night. She closed her eyes. Everyone pretending everything was fine while our marriage burned down in real time. I texted you after. You said you were okay. I lied. She opened her eyes. But it was easier than the truth, which was that my husband had been cheating on me for 6 months, gaslit me into thinking I was paranoid. And when I finally found proof, he convinced all our friends it was a mutual split because we grew apart. Her voice was steady but had an edge like a knife. Does that match what Derek told you? I felt gut-punched. He said you wanted different things. Counseling didn't work, made it sound mutual. Of course he did. She laughed without humor. I'm not telling you this to make him look bad. I'm telling you because if we're going to sit here and pretend to be normal adults having coffee, you should know the actual story, not his edited version. The words sat between us like a bomb. Derek had been my best friend since high school. We played baseball together. Went to different colleges but stayed close. He was supposed to be my best man before my engagement imploded. We still grabbed beers every few months, talked about the Seahawks and work and nothing that mattered. He'd told me they grew apart, that Natalie wanted kids and he didn't, that they'd tried therapy but couldn't make it work. Clean, simple, nobody's fault. He'd never mentioned cheating. I'm sorry, I said. I should have checked in more, after everything. You texted, I appreciated it. But honestly, I needed space from everyone who reminded me of that life. Her voice softened. Nothing personal. I get it. We sat there. Rain picked up outside, blurring the windows. Someone's latte machine steamed. Soft music played. The world kept moving while we sat frozen in this moment. "So what do we do?" Natalie asked. "Sit here for 20 polite minutes, then leave and never speak of this again? What do you want to do?" She tilted her head, considering. "Honestly, I want to stay. This is the most interesting Saturday I've had in months, and I'm curious if we can actually have a conversation or if this is just going to be catastrophically awkward. Let's find out." Something shifted. The tension didn't disappear, but it bent into something different. Less panic, more curiosity. "Tell me about your life," she said. "What have you been doing for 2 years besides saving people?" "Working mostly. Marcus and I are on the same rig now, which helps. He keeps me sane. My dad retired to Arizona. I visit once a year and pretend to like golf. Move to a cheaper place in Fremont. And I run. A lot." "Why running?" "Same reason you do yoga. Keeps the noise down." She nodded like that made perfect sense. "I get it. Sometimes I come home from work and I can't talk anymore because I've used up all my words with 5-year-olds who can't pronounce their R's." "What's that like, the work?" Her face lit up. "It's incredible and exhausting. I work with kids who have speech delays, cleft palates, autism, hearing loss. Some days I watch a kid say their first clear sentence after months of work and I want to cry. Other days I want to quit because insurance won't cover the therapy they need and there's nothing I can do." "That's brutal." "Yeah, but the wins make it worth it." We kept talking. An hour passed, then another. The conversation flowed easier than it should have, probably because we weren't starting from zero. We had context, history, just not with each other directly. She told me about the divorce, the real story. How she'd suspected something for months, but convinced herself she was paranoid. How finding the texts from the other woman had felt like the floor opening. How Derek had begged her not to tell people the truth because it would ruin his reputation. I agreed because I was exhausted, she said. I just wanted it over. So he got to control the narrative, and I got to be the woman who couldn't make her marriage work. That's not fair. No, but it's what happened. I told her about my mom, about watching her shrink week by week, about the guilt of feeling relieved when she died, about Brianna leaving and how I'd convinced myself I was fine being alone. Are you? Natalie asked. Fine? Some days. That's honest. What about you? Some days I'm good. Other days I eat cereal for dinner and cry at Pixar movies. Which ones? All of them. Inside Out wrecked me for a solid week. I smiled despite myself. That movie's brutal, right? Everyone says it's for kids, but it's actually about depression and grief and losing parts of yourself. You've thought about this a lot. Therapy homework. My therapist made me watch it and then asked which emotions I was suppressing. She took a sip of her now cold latte. Turns out, all of them. By 3:30, the coffee shop was filling with the afternoon crowd. We'd been talking for an hour and a half. Neither of us had moved. Can I ask you something personal? Natalie said. We've been personal for 90 minutes. Might as well keep going. Why'd your engagement actually end? I remember hearing you were engaged. Then you weren't. But nobody really talked about it. I took a breath. My mom got sick, 6 months from diagnosis to funeral. I shut down completely. Couldn't feel anything except tired. Brianna tried to be there, but I pushed her away. Told her I was fine. Told her I needed space. Eventually, she realized I wasn't coming back and left. I didn't fight it. Do you regret that? Not fighting for her? No, we weren't right. But I regret shutting down. I regret not letting her help. I regret becoming the kind of person who's easier to leave than stay with. Natalie reached across the table and squeezed my hand, quick, impulsive, then pulled back like she'd surprised herself. but the gesture landed. "You know what's crazy," she said. "What?" "This is the best conversation I've had in months, maybe years." "Yeah?" "Yeah. Everyone I meet either doesn't get the work, or they hear divorced and treat me like damaged goods, or they spend the whole time talking about themselves. But you," she paused, "you actually listen. And you've got your own shit, so you're not trying to fix mine." I feel the same way. Most dates I've been on, which granted aren't many, feel like interviews. This feels like actually talking to a human. Probably because we skipped all the first date bullshit by accident. Silver lining, she laughed, and the sound did something to my chest. Made me want to hear it again. Outside, the rain slowed. Light was starting to dim. Seattle winter, where 4 p.m. feels like dusk. "I should probably go," Natalie said. But she didn't move. "Yeah, me too." I didn't move either. "Ethan?" "Yeah. I know this is insane. I know Derek would lose his mind if he found out. I know this is complicated on about 20 different levels." She met my eyes. "But I want to see you again." My heart kicked into a higher gear. Derek and I aren't as close as we used to be. We get beers every few months, talk about nothing. He's living his life. "So you're saying—" "I'm saying I want to see you again, too. Complications and all." Her smile broke wide. "When? Tomorrow? There's a trail in Discovery Park. We could walk, keep talking. See if this still makes sense in daylight." "What time?" 10? "Done." We stood. Put on jackets. Walked outside into the drizzle. Her car was down the block one way, mine the opposite direction. At the corner, we stopped. "Thanks for not running," she said. "Thanks for staying." She stepped forward and hugged me, quick but solid. Smelled like vanilla and rain. Then pulled back, gave a small wave, and walked toward her car. I stood there watching her taillights disappear. Rain soaking my shirt, wondering what the hell I'd just agreed to. Sunday morning, I was up at 6, too wired to sleep. Went for my run, but couldn't find rhythm. Kept thinking about the trail, about Natalie, about Derek. By 9:30, I was pacing. Changed shirts twice. Checked my hair like a teenager. Felt ridiculous. Discovery Park is 534 acres of forest and bluffs overlooking Puget Sound. The loop trail winds through dense woods and opens onto beach views. I'd run it hundreds of times. Today, it felt different. Natalie pulled into the lot at exactly 10 a.m. in a blue Honda. Got out wearing leggings, rain jacket, hiking boots, hair in a ponytail, no makeup. She looked younger without it, less guarded. "Morning," she said. "Morning, sleep okay?" "Barely, you?" "Same." We started walking. The trail was muddy, puddles reflecting gray sky. Dense firs closed in. Smelled like wet earth and pine. 10 minutes in, Natalie stopped. "We need to talk about Derek." "Yeah." "Because this is fun, and I like you, but I can't ignore that you're his best friend and I'm his ex-wife. And this could explode spectacularly." "What do you want to know?" "How close are you two, really?" I thought about it. Honestly, we were inseparable in high school. College put distance, then jobs, life, your marriage. We'd still hang out, but it was surface level. After the divorce, we'd get beers occasionally. He'd complain about work. I'd complain about work. We'd talk about football. That was it. That. Did he ever talk about me? "Once. Said you grew apart." Her jaw tightened. "Of course. I didn't know about the affair until yesterday. And I'm pissed he lied. Do you believe me? Or him? You. Why wouldn't I?" "Because he's your best friend. He's a guy I used to be best friends with." "There's a difference." Her shoulders dropped. Relief, maybe. We walked. She told me more about the divorce. The real story. How she'd suspected for months. How Derek had gaslit her into thinking she was crazy. How finding proof had felt like her whole life crumbling. How she'd left to save herself. I told her about Mom. About the guilt. About how Brianna had tried to help, but I'd shut her out because asking for help felt like weakness. Why? Natalie asked. Because my dad checked out emotionally after the diagnosis. My brother lives in Boston, visited once. It was just me. So I became the person who handles everything alone. That sounds exhausting. It is. The trail opened onto a meadow with water views, gray waves, container ships, gulls screaming. Can I ask why you said yes yesterday? I said, to staying. Curiosity partly, but also you looked as freaked out as I felt, but you didn't run. And I thought anyone who can sit in that much discomfort and still try might be worth knowing. Low bar. You'd be surprised how many people can't clear it. 2 hours passed. We circled back to the lot. My legs were tired, but I felt more awake than I had in months. So, Natalie said at her car. What now? Dinner, Tuesday night. There's a Thai place in Fremont. We could keep going. Tuesday, I'm free. She smiled. Text me the address? Yeah. She opened her door, paused. Ethan? Yeah? This is probably a terrible idea. Probably. But I'm glad we're doing it. Me too. She drove away. I stood there grinning like an idiot. Monday, Marcus was relentless. So who is she? Just someone. You went hiking on a Sunday. You don't hike unless someone's dying or you're trying to impress a woman. I focused on restocking the rig. It's complicated. Complicated how? She's Derek's ex-wife. Marcus stopped, turned, stared. You're fucking with me? Nope. Natalie? Derek's Natalie? Yep. He whistled low. That's either the bravest or dumbest thing you've ever done. Haven't decided yet. Does Derek know? Not yet. Gonna tell him. Eventually. If this turns into something. And if he loses his shit? Then he loses his shit. Marcus clapped my shoulder. For what it's worth, you've been a zombie for 2 years. If she wakes you up, I'm all for it. The shift was busy. 3 trauma calls, 2 overdoses, 1 cardiac arrest. By the time we clocked out, I was exhausted. But I texted Natalie anyway. Still on for tomorrow? Absolutely. Can't wait. Sure. Tuesday, I left work early. Showered, changed. Drove to Pestle Rock, small Thai spot in a strip mall, quiet enough to talk. Natalie showed up on time in a green sweater, jeans, hair down, looked softer somehow. Hey. We ordered green curry for her, pad keemao for me, spring rolls to share. Tell me something you've never told anyone, she said. Jesus, starting strong. We're not doing small talk anymore. Fair, I thought while chewing. Sometimes after bad calls, I sit in the rig and cry, not sobbing, just tears I can't hold back. Marcus doesn't know. I always wait until he goes inside. She didn't look shocked, just nodded. That makes sense. You see terrible things. Feels weak? It's human. Your turn. She set down her fork. I'm terrified I'll end up alone. Not dramatically. Just alone at 60. Realizing I spent so much time protecting myself that I forgot how to let people in. That's not going to happen. How do you know? Because you're here, taking a risk on someone you have every reason to avoid. She smiled, shaky. I hope you're right. After dinner, we walked. Ended up at a park, sat on swings, rocking gently. Can I tell you what scares me? I asked. Please. I'm scared I'll mess this up. Push you away like I did Brianna. That Derek will find out, and I'll lose what's left of that friendship. That you'll realize I'm not worth the trouble. She stopped swinging, got up, walked over, and kissed me. Soft, tentative, asking permission. I kissed back. Hands on her waist. World narrowing to just this. Her lips, cold air, the creak of swings. When we pulled apart, her eyes were bright. Was that okay? She asked. More than okay. The next 3 weeks were stolen moments. Coffee before her shift, dinner after mine, late night calls, hikes, movies, cooking disasters. We kept it quiet, didn't post online, didn't tell mutual friends. But secrets don't last. Thursday, Derek texted. Heard you're seeing someone. Who is she? My stomach dropped. Just someone I met. Cool. Beer soon? Catch up? I didn't respond. That night I told Natalie. He knows, she said. Not that it's you. He will. Someone's going to see us. Then we tell him. And say what? The truth. She curled into me. I'm scared. Me too, but I'm not backing down. Friday. Derek texted again. Beer tomorrow. Louis, 6 p.m. I could have said no. Should have. But avoiding him forever wasn't realistic. Yeah, see you then. Natalie went pale when I told her. Are you telling him? I'll see how it goes. Be careful. Saturday. Louis. I got there early. Ordered a beer I didn't want. Derek walked in. Seahawks hoodie, confident walk. Spotted me, grinned. Ethan, too long, man. Bro hug, backslaps. He ordered wings and beer. So who's the mystery woman? Just someone. Come on, Taylor said you're smiling again. That's huge. Taylor talks too much. She cares. He took a drink. You deserve to be happy. Just don't screw it up like I did. The irony. Your divorce, I said carefully. That was rough. Yeah, Natalie and I couldn't make it work. That's not what I heard. His eyes sharpened. What did you hear? That you cheated. He went still. Who told you? Does it matter? Yeah, because that's her version. What's yours? We were already done. I made a mistake. She blew it up instead of working through it. You cheated, Derek. That's not a mistake. Whose side are you on? Nobody's. I'm saying there's more to it than you told me. He leaned back. You've been talking to Natalie. Silence. Holy shit. You have. Voice dropping. How long? Few weeks? Weeks? Ethan, what the fuck? We ran into each other. Blind date. We talked. His face went red. You're dating my ex-wife. Yes. He stood. Table shook. Beer sloshed. My ex-wife. My best friend. It's not about you. The fuck it's not. Derek, you believe her over me. I believe both of you, and I know you lied. I didn't lie, I simplified. You covered up an affair. He grabbed his jacket. If you keep seeing her, we're done. Then we're done. He stared, waiting for me to flinch. I didn't. Fine, he said. Have fun with my sloppy seconds. He walked out. I sat there, hands shaking. Pulled out my phone. Told Derek. Didn't go well. Natalie called immediately. What happened? He gave me an ultimatum. You or him. And? I picked you. Silence. Then her voice thick. You didn't have to. I wanted to. Come over? On my way. Derek texted mutual friends. His version, I'd betrayed him. Natalie was manipulative. I'd chosen her over years of friendship. Some believed him, some didn't. Natalie handled it better than me. She'd been through worse, but I saw the strain. The way she'd check her phone. The apologies for causing problems. You didn't cause this, I'd say. He did. Do you regret it? Never. 3 months in, things settled. Derek stopped. Mutual friends moved on. Natalie met Marcus and Taylor. They loved her. I met her sister, friends, co-workers. They were protective but warm. We stopped hiding. Posted a photo, nothing dramatic. Us at the park. Comments were mostly positive. We ignored the rest. 6 months in, she was at my place after a hike. Rain on windows. I've been thinking, she said. About? Moving in, eventually. My chest tightened, not panic, excitement. I'd like that. Yeah? Yeah, I'm all in. She smiled. Me too. 8 months later. Moving into a new place. Queen Anne, 2 bedrooms, ours. Marcus helped. Taylor brought coffee. Natalie's sister teased us. My phone buzzed. Hey, Derek, heard you're moving in. I was an asshole. You didn't deserve that. Coffee sometime? No pressure. I showed Natalie. What do you want? She asked. Don't know. Part of me wants to tell him to fuck off. Part of me misses who he used to be. You don't have to decide now. What would you do? Leave the door open. Just cracked. I texted back. Thanks. Maybe. I'll let you know. Kissed her. You ready? Terrified, but yeah. Same. We unpacked. Built furniture badly. Ordered pizza. Fell asleep on the couch. It wasn't perfect. We fought about dishes, date nights, me shutting down. But we fought fair, apologized, learned. And slowly it became home. 1 year in, her birthday, Cannon Beach, 3 days away. We walked the beach at sunset. Watched waves crash. Built a fire, drank wine, talked about futures. Kids, maybe. Marriage eventually. Growing old. "I love you," I said. "I know. You tell me every day." "I mean it every day." She kissed me. "I love you too." That night, ocean roaring, she said, "I'm glad Taylor set us up, even though it was a disaster. Especially because, if it had been easy, we wouldn't have fought for it." "True. Promise me something. Anything. Don't give up, even when it's hard." "I promise." "Me too." We drove back Monday, back to work, to real life. But real life didn't feel heavy. It felt full, and I wasn't scared anymore.